Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is August 31st, 2022, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, oil makes an about face and sells off right back to where its previous levels were. Now, there's no major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the euro rebound above 1 to the dollar, and the British pound is staying alive as well. Now, looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both bounce, but barely. A very slight bounce. We're going to take a look at that. And looking at these commodities, gold does look like it's making a double bottom at a support level at 1725, and oil did sell off. Now, looking at the stocks, Microsoft continues to sell off after that gap down, and Intel remains weak, trickling down, but still very weak. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, unchanged for the day. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So just to note, we are heading into a holiday weekend. Monday next week on September, I believe it's the 3rd or the 4th, is Memorial Day in the United States. It's a national holiday, and the markets are closed in the U.S., so that's going to be affecting the markets. And as we go into that session, I think we're going to see lighter volume in the next couple of days. So looking at this, we're at 1. We did bounce right back. We hit 99-ish level, flat 99. So this comeback is really pretty decent, because if we look at it, it's a 100 pip move on the upside, so it did come back. Looking at the GBP USD, did the same, okay? It's staying alive, but not by much, okay? Really not by much. The bounce is much less than the GBP, so I'm inclined to think that it's still very weak. It's dipping below 117 versus US dollar. Now looking at USD Japanese yen, setting up that double top on 139, and you see that resistance there. And look at the volume. The volume has gone decreasing as we've gone up, so I'm more inclined to think that this is going to make some sort of correction in the next couple of days. Looking at the Aussie Dollar, just trading sideways right now, finding a footing at that 68.56 and bouncing off of it, but still not that strong as much as I would have inclined it to be. However, looking at gold, making a double top, bottom, at 1725, and just setting it sideways, at least for now. If it does break this 1724 level and we see it breaking below 1719, we could see that it could further decline on the downside. Now looking at crude oil, look at this about face. We rallied yesterday to $97 and then right back down. So, day to day, didn't do much of a trade there either. So, I mean, if you were able to catch it on the upside, book it, and then sell on the downside, but there's no rhyme or reason to this. This is not something that you can necessarily read unless you're day trading. And in day traders, you're looking for fast action. You just get in, get out. And this would have been a day for oil to be a really great day, but you have to be able to, focus on it and jump your focus from other things to be focused on something like oil. And nobody could have anticipated that this would have been like this on today. So keep that in mind, that these type of days are hard to trade because you don't anticipate such moves within a couple of days of trading. Now looking at Microsoft, this is where the big thing is at. We're at 263. We dipped below 260-ish level. We just hit 261 and then bouncing off of it, but it's still selling off and still on the downside. So I don't believe we're going to, make it back. We may see new lows. Now, it's not going to give it to you right away. Okay, if the markets sell off in September, it's going to give it to you bit by bit, and it's going to start with the majors. Now, looking at Facebook, we are at the bottom of the range. Generally speaking, we bounce off of these levels. This is a place where we may bounce off of, so keep that in mind as we go into the next session. But if we make new lows, then the markets are going to follow suit as well. And looking at Intel, hasn't gotten stronger, okay? It just gets weaker and weaker. It's trickling down just little by little. It doesn't give it to you. It doesn't give it to you right away, but it's trickling down. You can see that. I mean, we don't have support. The next real support level is $27. So we do have, as it's breaking that 200-day moving average, if we're looking at a monthly chart, that's really an important level for us to be breaking on the downside. So keep this on the radar, because this is really a bellwether. This is really a very important stock. Now looking at Bitcoin, not doing much, trading in a very, very, very tight range. I wouldn't call it a range. It's just trading sideways. It's just going between 500-ish level to 20,500-ish level within the 1,000 point range. Not to say you can't make money in that, but it's not making those huge kind of moves, and it looks like it's settling at these areas. I mean, compared to where we are at 48,000 back in March, this is really a very, very tight range. I mean, you know, looking at it from this perspective, 24,000 to 19,000, compared to when it was, you know, if we look at a weekly chart, from 63,000 to 427 to 32,000, that's a much bigger gap to be making money in. So keep that in mind, as this is going to be rotating itself, and we may see further sell-off in this as this continues to be weak. This is Fred Razak, and we wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.